Strawberry fields at my house. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. It is 5:45. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, but I'm worried about you.
I'm well. Why?
Well, it's a big day.
You just told me I'll be fine.
I'm excited for you, man.
2 seconds ago, I said, you know what, I'm kind of scared. And you said, I'll be fine.
I do believe
and then
you'll
she
be
said,
fine.
I'm so
And then-
worried.
I just said I'm good.
and Sarah, worried about a fellow human being.
I am
believe
worried
that.
about you and your psyche because you're clearly very nervous about what's happening to you today.
Nervous than I thought I would be, but let me go to the strawberry fields at my house thing. Remember you told us about the strawberry fields bricks?
Yes.
Well, Amy ordered one.
Good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, totally. Plus, she's a genius, and I don't say that about her that often. But she's clearly a genius. So you order the Strawberry Fields brick. It was a nursery or an orphanage. I'll make an orphanage so it's more interesting.
Yeah.
So they're tearing it down, but the bricks apparently are valuable, and it turns out that they are. So I don't know. Let's say they're $50 a brick, right?
Yeah.
But crazed Beatle fans don't feel like waiting 9 days or whatever to get a brick. So they go, oh, yeah, shipping and handling by carrier pigeon. Yes, bring that to me tomorrow. And so it was about $100 for a brick.
Oh, wow.
Now, in my head, and this is where Amy comes out a genius. In my head, I had it, a red brick that you would build with anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I was thinking like fireplace bricks to give you an example of what kind of, the red brick.
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
So, but they're not. They're bigger and they're chalkier and they're heavier. And I took that underground tour of Pioneer Square in Seattle.
Right.
The bricks are more like that, like if they were 100 years old, which apparently these are.
For those of us who haven't done that, what does that mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean?
What do those bricks look like? I have no idea.
Oh, they're any oldie-timey bricks. They appear to be bigger. Like they took a regular brick and then somehow made it swell up about
it's
another.
bigger.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's much, much heavier. So, which wrecks kind of Amy's plan about being a genius, and that is, she said, when we find our retirement house, wherever it is we're going to retire, let's chisel out one of the bricks and have this brick put into the house.
How neat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's only now you'd have to chisel out a bunch of bricks and it'd look really weird and it wouldn't match. But, she's crazed beatily enough that she's going to do whatever it takes to get this into the gates of a house, the front door of a house, the stairs of a house. I said a fireplace. I said all the fireplaces I've ever had, except the one we have now, are brick.
Yeah.
So we'll do it in that.
I'm glad she ordered it. That's really cool.
Yeah, she's very excited about it. So now to the part where I am nervous, and thank you for asking, because a few weeks ago, if you guys will remember, my sister was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and she's going to be fine. Like, they told her that right at the get-go, and I don't think they do that. They said like this, oh, yeah, you got a little cancer. And they just didn't seem that interested. You'll be fine. They told her about the chemo and that it would be half the dose that a regular harder cancer would be because this is really small. So, but either way, smaller doses of chemo or standard dose of chemo, all her hair fell out. Well, my sister is, I'm Italian, so I can say this. Everything makes me nervous about, did that sound racist? My sister is your standard Italian woman. Olive, walnut-colored skin, almond-shaped eyes, really thick black hair. Well, I don't know if it's black because chicks, man, they all dye their hair. I think they were all born with the same hair
On her
color.
Facebook, it's red.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, now everybody's red. You mean the crazy red that all the kids are wearing?
No, she looks like she's your sister. She looks like she
That
too.
kind of red?
Yeah, it's like a pretty auburn. Doesn't look fake at all. I thought she was a ginger.
Oh, no. He's a real jet. Everybody in my house looks Italian.
Oh.
You
were the
except
only
for me.
ginger,
Yeah.
right?
Except we are all spawned from my grandfather, Nono, as we called him, who barely learned to speak English in his entire time on this here planet. Bright red hair. My size, short people. He'd get in a lot of fights as he did not like people commenting on his height.
Yeah.
Where, some of us have just gotten used to it.
He stares at me.
So, anyway, so they're all a bunch of, so her hair has kind of been a big part of her, but I think I trump that. Danny Bonaduce and his bright red hair since I was 10, well, before Partridge Family, because when I was a little baby, crazy red hair, lunatic red hair. If you go on the internet and look at pictures of me, crazy. So here's how I was always in like newspapers or anything after the Partridge Family. They would say, Danny Bonaduce with his wild red hair and his gravelly voice is walking his dog or whatever. It didn't take much back there in the 70s. So my hair has been part of my who I am for a really long time. The bright red hair. Now the hair has dimmed, but not enough that you wouldn't go, oh, I didn't know you were ever a ginger. You'd look at me and go, oh, you're a ginger. Kinda. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Still a ginger.
So today, I appreciate that. Well, no, I don't, because I won't be in about a minute.
Yeah, you're still a ginger for a few more hours.
Yeah, so anyway, so my sister comes down with a touch of the cancer. Chemo knocks her hair out, and I say flippantly, really, I mean, not flippantly, that sounds wrong, but just casually, I said, I'm going to shave my head to support you. And then she said, do that.
Yeah.
Why would she say that? Why would she say, oh, don't do that? She said it to Amy. I said, I'm going to shave my head. And she said, Amy, don't get involved in this. To which Amy said, I was never even considering it, which I thought was very funny.
It's a big show of support. And I'm sure, she understands how much it's a big part of your identity. And I'm sure it means a lot to her.
I certainly hope so, because she can be nasty.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing it, so she's okay. I like her. She did something so weird because her cancer's not, it's the type that can kill you. It's just not going to. According to the doctors, nobody's trying to be nice to her. They caught it early.
Yeah.
She's not going to die from this. But I got not a text. Yeah, a text from her or an email, whatever. And it said, you have always loved me, even when I didn't deserve it. I love you. To which I wrote back, you don't deserve it now.
Oh.
Well, I assume she'd find that funny, which thankfully I know the payoff sounds like, oh, and then she cried. No, she totally got it. You don't deserve it now. But it was weird. She's not that kind of person at all.
Yeah.
So even though everybody believes she's going to be fine, although I don't know how fine you are after cancer, your body must have taken some hits that just aren't going to go away.
Sure, and chemo in particular is hard on the system.
Hard on the system. So, so anyway, I said a few weeks ago that I would shave off the old, I was going to say golden locks, but that's not true, but the cute and adorable. I even washed my hair this morning.
You look great.
Thank you, dear. So do you.
Thanks.
I never wash my hair before. Who's got that kind of time?
Right.
Wash my hair before work. But I thought, if I want everybody to feel either an emotional attachment to my hair hitting the floor or just Bonaduce's so bitchin', which, by the way, I would appreciate. If you're out there and you tune into KZOK.com, is that how you find our TV at 9 o'clock?
It'll be live on our Facebook page, so just go to Facebook and search for KZOK.
Yeah.
And then it'll be played back on our YouTube page afterwards.
So I tweeted that I was doing it and got, Amy said first thing this morning, man, since last night, you have 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
Which I assume from I've heard her talk a couple other times, that's a bunch of likes.
People are really supportive of what you're doing. They think that's fantastic. It's great that you're doing that for your sister, but I think also just very excited to watch you have your head shaved.
That's the thing. You bastards, I know what you're up to.
Firefighters had to battle a huge barge fire on the Duwamish River in South Seattle last night. The fire just after 8 p.m. This was on South Myrtle Street off of East Marginal Way. Flames were seen shooting several stories into the air. A thick plume of black smoke could be seen billowing over the area from as far away as Kirkland and Point Defiance in Tacoma. The barge appeared to be loaded with crushed cars about 3 stories high. They said it took firefighters on the ground, along with a Seattle fireboat, over an hour to bring the fire under control. There was a foam truck that was brought in from Boeing Field that also helped. Now, they said one firefighter had some minor injuries, but their biggest concern now is environmental. It appears the fire has been put out.
The images from that were just crazy. I'm sure the local news was like, this is awesome. Nobody wants to see a fire, but a fire like that, it's on a boat and it's, wrecked cars.
Was that the pressed cars, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're right. I think the news was certainly interested.
Yeah, because it's not like, a big apartment fire where people are in danger or something like that. You're thinking, well, it's obviously doing property damage, but it's not hurting anyone, and we get to film this awesome fire.
The plume of smoke was super scary looking because it was so thick and black.
Yeah.
That you do wonder what it's going to wind up doing to the water and to the air throughout that area, but it was crazy cool looking. They're still at the scene making sure that the fire isn't going to kick up again because it was in such a condensed area with so much metal and potential for more gas and fumes. So it certainly hasn't been cleared to keep going along its merry way.
Yeah.
10 protesters of the government's immigration policy were arrested outside the Northwest Detention Center last night, including one person who jumped on a police officer's back as he attempted to detain a demonstrator.
Now, if you think you're going to do a peaceful protest, don't you know the second you touch a cop, it's no longer a peaceful protest?
Yeah.
And the repercussions, I mean, I don't think, it is my opinion, that the cops don't hurt anybody intentionally till it's what exactly calls for an arrest. But it could spiral quickly.
Sure.
You know, you're down there, it's my peaceful protest. Parents should be reunited with their children. Everybody thinks you're right. And then you jump on a cop.
Yeah.
Bad call.
Looks like people keep on moving to Washington state. A new survey said the population of Washington jumped by 117,300 people.
All in Lake Union.
Yeah.
Nearly 84,000 moved here from other parts of the country. The remainder were born elsewhere in the state. Now, the total population of Washington is now 7,427,600.
That's a bunch.
Yeah.
7 million people.
So when you look at the specific places, Seattle saw the biggest growth, followed by Vancouver, Spokane, Redmond, Pasco, Kent, Bellingham, Bellevue, Auburn, and Kennewick.
Where's
Go
Yakima?
Tips.
Yeah, go Tips. Where's
Yes.
Yakima?
No Yakima. I'm sorry. So Seattle did add the most residents, 16,700. The population now stands at 730,000 with 400 left over.
And that's just the homeless population, the 16,000 that we added?
That's terrible.
Oh,
It's okay with me, man.
all right.
There's a great video that has been circulating. It is out of Anchorage, Alaska. Somebody from the police department spotted a squirrel and a theft. They decided to post this video to their
It must
Facebook
have been nuts.
page.
What else would a squirrel steal?
Right?
Really? From the police? Come on now, people.
Oh, donuts?
Yep.
Dirty bastard.
It's
The squirrel, by the way.
the video is really funny. It shows the squirrel going up to where all the cop cars are, and next thing you know, it's got a donut and it flees. It's fast, and the cop's just laughing because it's
It carries an entire donut?
yes.
It's like one of those crazy ants that carry something
Yeah.
as big as a Buick.
Like a half a watermelon.
On to national and international news brought to you by Evergreen Speedway. A New Zealand man who had traveled to Virginia to meet a 14-year-old girl he communicated with online was shot by the teen's mother. Troy Skinner,
Wow.
age 25.
Your mom always says it to the 14-year-old. I'll shoot him.
Yeah.
I'll shoot that boy.
This is a pretty scary situation, a pretty bad story. This man, Troy Skinner, 25 years old, was shot after he allegedly smashed through a glass door and attempted to enter this home in Goochland. Now, this guy had duct tape and a knife and came here from New Zealand, came to America from New Zealand. Mom saw this guy enter the house and said, "I have a gun." And he still broke through the door and tried to enter the home. She hit him. He was struck in the neck and remains hospitalized. So they're not sure how it escalated to this.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure you said, and this is a really terrible story. I don't necessarily see that. Some pervert came here to grab a 14-year-old girl.
It's a terrible story in that he had planned to do something bad.
Yeah, and there's
With
a good
knife.
story that it took a bullet to the neck before he touched a child. I'm
Yeah.
completely down with that lady.
I don't think anyone isn't. But
And she gave him, prior warning.
warning,
yeah. There's no indication that this 14-year-old told him to come here, that she hadn't planned to run away with him.
Even if she had, I'm still okay with him getting shot.
Yeah, I don't think anybody isn't. It's just what I meant was this guy clearly had more nefarious plans than just meeting up with a girl he liked.
Makes me think of that astronaut. Remember that lady? The lady astronaut was mad,
Yeah.
and she drove 800 miles in a day wearing a diaper with duct tape and a mask and stuff. Chicks get mad.
Yeah.
Well, one chick on a Spirit Airlines flight did get really mad. She became erratic and irate after the plane had to make an unscheduled landing because of a medical emergency. And in this day and age, you act erratic and irate on an airplane, somebody whips out their cell phone and videos you.
Sure.
Yeah. And they needed to tape this lady. If you said a woman got mad, I would laugh and think, well, that's amusing. Some lady got. This lady was frightening.
She was frightening, running up and down the aisles, screaming at passengers as they stared in disbelief. Video shows her running back and forth, screaming, cursing, shouting at the top of her lungs. They said, other than the profanity, you cannot really make out what she's screaming about. She clearly does not want to have an emergency landing. She wants to get off the plane where she wants to be, as in...
And she's aware that somebody is sick enough to make an emergency landing, right?
They said we have a medical emergency. And what we don't know is what the nature of that medical emergency was, but they were told we have a medical emergency and are going to make an emergency stop.
You know, people are trying hard to knock that Little Red Hen restaurant where they didn't let Huckabee eat off my pedestal of, hey, I really hate you. And this lady that doesn't have any caring or interest in her fellow man, she's high on my list.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be delayed in their flight, but the captain doesn't make that decision lightly. If there's an actual medical emergency, he doesn't want to stop.
No,
He only does
but
it if he has to.
I think they stop too easily, to
Really?
be honest. Yeah. I don't think necessarily on this time. Oh, no, not at all, because it's a medical emergency. But yeah, I think somebody has told a flight attendant, go to hell or something like that, and they said, we got to land this plane in Saskatchewan right now. Like, no, you really don't.
How about a nice story in the news?
Yeah, sure.
Firefighters noticed a family struggling to fill a swimming pool amid the sweltering heat in Charlotte, North Carolina, and decided to help out. Now, they're having a big heat wave. It's in the 90s. And these firefighters saw residents trying to fill a kiddie pool by filling pots from the sink in the kitchen and then taking them outside. And clearly that's the sort of method that's going to take quite a while.
Yeah.
Fire crews said that they noticed that there was a birthday party. They were getting all set up and they were trying to have some fun. They decided to use their hose to help fill the kiddie pool.
Well, that's sweet. I like that.
And a 9-year-old girl had been taunted at school relentlessly because her hair was falling out. Turns out she had these big bald spots. 55% of her beautiful long blonde hair started to fall out. They realized she has alopecia.
Yeah, sure.
This poor little girl, 9 years old, said everyone would stare and chant and point and laugh. You have bald spots. You have bald spots.
Okay, that's terrible, but it did sound a little fun the way you did it just there. Like I almost joined in on the second one. You have bald spots. And then I realized that's just terrible.
Yeah, that's a child. But I get your joy.
Well, the poor little girl, the doctor said to fight this, you need to start rubbing the medication into your head and try to regrow it. She hated it, didn't like the way it felt, so she decided to shave her head.
Yeah, smart kid.
Now she says it took a little longer than she thought, but she is now completely bald. And she said, not everybody can rock a bald head, but I'm very happy. Sometimes I like to decorate my head with stickers or wear a headband. And she said that she knows the hair will likely not grow back ever.
Ever? The whole head?
Yep, unless she starts rubbing that medical treatment on again. And she says she's okay with it.
Wow.
She's going to rock a bald head.
I'm not.
Yeah, your hair is going to grow back.
Yeah,
man.
But if this 9-year-old girl can do it, so can Danny Bonaduce.
Yeah, that sounds nice. There's about 1,000 things a 9-year-old can do that I can't do. I can't think of really any right now. Play with Barbie and not rip his head off because I always pull their head off.
Probably a cartwheel. Did you do a cartwheel?
Yeah, I can do a cartwheel.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that I still can, but it wasn't that long ago. I could do a one-handed cartwheel.
Oh, wow.
Well, if you missed it earlier, Danny is going to be shaving his head in solidarity with his sister who is battling cancer. So at 9 o'clock this morning, Danny, too, will be bald.
It sounds like my other Danny, like my double. Danny, too, is going to shave his head.
I bet today you're wishing that were true.
I totally, this sounded like nothing when I said I would do it for my lovely sister, but now I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous about it.
A man has been reunited with his $130,000 prosthetic leg 3 days after he lost it while riding a jet ski. The fire department looked high.
Wait, he lost the fake leg on a jet ski?
Yes.
How did he lose the real leg?
I have no idea.
Oh, but then he put on a fake leg and lost it on a jet ski.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be weird if he also lost the real leg
one
on a jet ski?
Nope, this guy has had this prosthetic leg for a while.
Why is it $180,000 or something?
Maybe that's how much they cost. I don't know very many people to ask that question to.
You know what? I bet it's one of those ones that has all sorts of hydraulics and stuff, so it clicks along when he walks and take steps rather than drag it behind him.
Well, this guy's very active, and he was out on his jet ski when the leg popped off.
Yeah, popped off.
And
Yeah, that's one.
they had scuba divers out. They had a local diving club. All these people were trying to help him. 3 days later, somebody said, "There's a leg. I see its feet coming out of the water."
And there's a big search and rescue thing.
Yep.
He tried to dive down for it, but he just swims in circles. It's sad.
They said that toes were sticking out of the mud. That's about all you could see. But it's going to be cleaned up and back on his leg.
Cool.
So according to the internet, prosthetic legs go for anywhere between $5,000 and $50,000, which is a pretty big window. But I found one for $650.
No, get that one.
Yeah.
Although it's just a peg, like an old pirate.
Yeah.
It says early 20th century wooden prosthetic leg, $650. I think.
Perfect.
Yeah, why not?
His was made in Austria and does have electronic components.
And diamonds.
And diamonds and gold leaf. A well-known Japanese blogger was stabbed to death by an internet user he had argued with shortly after giving a talk on how to manage disputes online.
No. Well, the answer is with a knife.
He is known to web users as hijacks. He had been a very popular blogger for a long time and was sharing experiences about quarrels online, fights online, and how to deal with them. And he went and gave a big speech on it, and he had all these followers. And he went into the bathroom, and somebody who he had argued with followed him in and stabbed him to death.
Wow. That's just sad. What was his blog about? It was just about life.
Well, this latest blog
Was about conflict
literally
resolution.
Right.
sharing my experiences about quarrels online and how to deal with them.
Well, I don't know that was the best way, to be honest with you.
Well, we're not going to get any fresh blogs from him. Renting used gym clothing is now a thing.
Ew.
Ew.
It's a
And this-
gross thing.
In this day and age, it does seem like you can rent a lot. We see people renting cars for a couple of hours. You can rent someone else's home. So
Yeah.
why not gym clothes?
Sure.
Now,
Because you.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
why.
new factor.
This is a new company. It's a startup that said this is for people who travel, and you do get to keep the socks. Those they aren't going to recycle, but you sign up and then you get a gym pack of whatever it is you're looking for. So for women, maybe it's leggings and a jogging bra. For men, maybe it's shorts and a t-shirt, sneakers.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about what you want. And they said they have very special technology for the sneakers so that you're not putting your sneakers in feet in someone else's.
Yeah, they have that same amazing technology at a bowling alley near you. It's called a white spray powder.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty ick.
I think not only do I think it's ick, I think it's silly. Everything that they rent folds up to nothing. It doesn't really necessarily take any major space in your suitcase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the shoes are the bulkiest, but you could even put those shorts and t-shirt inside the shoes.
You could. You absolutely could, and I often do. So I do not feel that is a screaming success.
Yeah, big ick factor. 4th of July, right around the corner. During this time of year, experts routinely warn people about the risks of fireworks. And while fireworks are legal in Washington, people constantly have mishaps
Right.
firing them off. Paul, you said in your neighborhood, people are just crazy with the fireworks.
They are, and they're like the big explosive ones that they don't even really shoot them up into the air a
No,
lot.
they're
There's
just
some of that-
M80s. Boom.
Yeah, it's just big loud sounds that freak out our animals.
My last stay in Mexico, I rented an Airbnb, and it was way up in the hill in a residential neighborhood, and it was gorgeous, and I loved it. Except right around sunset, the chickens started screaming. And then I don't know if they were trying to blow up the chickens, but then every half an hour, all night, like, boom. I mean, like terrifying. And you didn't know when the next one was coming.
Derek, is this something you and your friends do? You seem like a fireworks kind of kid.
Oh, yeah. I live near the native reservations, and they sell the best fireworks.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
100%.
didn't know that. The kind that go boom?
Oh, the big ones, man.
Right on.
Yeah, no regulations down there.
But you're not supposed to take them off the reservation. I know at Muckleshoot they have a place where you can light them
Oh,
off.
that place
You do it right
is
there?
just hectic. Like,
Yeah.
That's Boom City right next to Muckleshoot Casino. That's dangerous. Like, there's just a big field and there's no rules. Like, people just go out there and light off anything they want without any kind of sense of who's around them or how close you might be to someone.
I have never seen Derek this excited.
It gets wild, man. It's like the Wild West. I love it.
All right.
Seriously, he's worked
He's
up.
going.
Yeah.
But if it's so crazy that Derek is nervous about it, then it must be mayhem.
Right. Man.
Well, something else that goes hand in hand with the 4th of July is the Nathan's famous 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest.
That's so funny. When you said it, I was going to go, wieners. Wieners go hand in hand. And turns
Absolutely.
out I was right.
Wieners. Now, this hot dog eating contest is televised on ESPN. 35,000 people will witness it live. It's a big event.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering who won last year, that would be Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
How does this guy do that? I mean, it's understandable you can win one or two of these contests, but it doesn't seem like something you should be better than everybody at.
Yeah, and he's been winning for years. And
years.
He's not a big guy. Either.
No.
He's a little guy.
That's what blew my mind. When you see him, you assume he's going to be fat.
Right.
He is not. Joey Chestnut last year also broke a record. He ate 72 hot dogs. He's a 10-time winner and won for the second year in a row.
Now, does he
crazy.
Ralph immediately after that on purpose? Intentional Ralphing?
I mean, I'm sure he can't do it during the competition or he's
Right,
out. And they don't show him, he gives an
No,
interview.
goes
and
back to his
stuff.
hotel room or whatever.
But yeah, I'm sure he does. You can't sit on that.
Literally.
Yeah, right. It's funny. I watch this every year, and last year was the first time that my daughter Jellybean saw it, and she's like, "You can do that? You can just eat as many hot dogs as you want." Like for a 6-year-old, it's eye opening.
Oh, you should take her to a pie eating contest.
Yeah,
where you
for
put your
sure.
hands behind your back and just go crazy. She'd love that.
So Joey Chestnut last year ate 72 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Jeez.
The woman who won last year was Miki Sudo. She ate 41. She won the title for the third year in a row. A lot of people wonder, okay, so you eat all those hot dogs, you look like a savage. What do you get? And they said, other than bragging rights, you get $40,000 in prize money. So first place winners get $10,000, and then more money is disseminated amongst the losers.
Not
So
enough.
you could, and is he sponsored in any way, Joey Chestnut?
Yeah, I mean, he makes a good living.
He does.
I think he seems to, but otherwise, why would you want to do this for a living?
Yeah.
Because what people will do for fame and notoriety, my friend, just to be that guy. What guy? Joey Chestnut. Oh man, I saw you eat.
Yeah.
Well,
that
remember,
guy.
he's coming out with his own line of condiments, so I'm thinking he's doing okay.
Which is smart.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be doing okay necessarily when they come out because Paul and I both agreed we'd buy them.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
in stores now.
Really? Oh, I want some.
Yeah.
Show field trip. Let's go down the street to Fred Meyer.
Oh, and you got to get it before 4th of July so that while you're watching the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, you can eat your own hot
Be
dog.
your one trifling hot dog.
You should get some and have that with Jelly Bean.
Yeah, we will do that. It'll be fun.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida Story of the Day.
Yay!
If you were ever worried that residents weren't working hard enough to create our special Oh, Florida moments, well, you don't know Florida well enough because there are more stories out of Florida than you can shake a stick at, especially this one. A Floridian spotted a car next to him doing something a little crazy, going 70 miles per hour with somebody clinging to the front.
With the guy on the hood.
Guy on the hood.
Crazy.
70 miles an hour. The guy who recorded the incident said, well, she is definitely mad at him about something.
Who's she?
The woman driving the car.
Nice.
So woman's driving the car. Dude is clinging, hanging on for dear life. The guy filming it, of course, was worried that he was going to lose finger holds and fly off.
Yeah, well, he could have. He was not holding on for dear life as well as he could have. He was on the phone.
At one point,
wow.
he was probably talking to her, saying, honey, can you please slow down?
But he looked so calm. Like you're doing 70 on the hood of a car, and I didn't know the person. I thought he just jumped on, he was a lunatic and jumped on somebody's car. You're on the hood of somebody who's mad at you? That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You should call an ambulance. That's who you should call.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
News this morning brought to you by Evergreen Speedway. When we come back with music news, a huge story. You will not believe what rock band just might be getting the gang back together again.
Cool.
After years of disputes, this will be good news, especially for you, Dooch Man. Would you guys like to win Mariners tickets? Of
Yeah.
course
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah,
You
right.
can next in sports. In music news, reminding you've got a chance to win John Fogerty tickets this morning at 7:20. 2 shows at Chateau Saint Michel. One is sold out, the one on the 19th, July 19th, giving you a chance to win your way into that one. Ray Davies gave a big interview yesterday that has the whole world in an uproar. He said the band is getting back together.
No way.
Yep. Ray Davies said he is making a new Kinks album with brother Dave Davies and Mick Avery. Now, the original bassist, Pete, died back in 2010, but the other dude they've worked with before, and they said it looks like we are going to be getting along.
Not to be any kind of jerk to all the other wonderful musicians that have played with them, but the Kinks are the Davies. That's,
says it's
you
the
get
two
them
of
on
them.
stage,
Yeah.
and I'm good to go.
And I feel like the world has to credit us for getting the Kinks
Yeah,
back
we
together.
did it. We had Dave Davies on this very show
Yeah.
saying, I apologize for being impudent, Danny. That's what he said to me. And I said,
Absolutely.
it's cool. Just get back together, Dave,
Right.
or Ray, or whichever
Apparently
one
he's
you are.
listening.
Yeah,
Which one? We had Ray Davies on, right?
Dave Davies.
Dave
With
Davies.
Dave Davies on.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Now,
Although now we know he listens because he actually
Yes.
wrote it. So let us just say, we're kidding. Dave Davies, pure genius. That other guy, you carry him.
he said, Ray Davies, we've been talking about it. I've got all these songs I wrote before we broke up, but we didn't really break up. We parted company, and I think this would be an appropriate time to do it. He said he has been influenced by the Rolling Stones and how great they are at organizing their careers and how that they can just keep going. And he said the Kinks, we'll probably just play at the local bar.
It's a good example, though. These
Yeah.
guys are grandfathers. Just make a great grandfather.
Indeed.
A great grandfather, and they tour and they sell out and they do great. It's not, it's not just they sell out; they do a good show. So I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea for the Davies to take that example.
Yeah, so Dave Davies did confirm that they are talking about making new music. They are going to do it. They're getting along, but said, yeah, we don't really have a plan to tour yet, whether it's the local pub or on a full-scale tour.
I need to see you, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And if one of the Davies won't do it, get Mac Davies, the country star. He'd be great. I like that guy, unless he's dead.
I want to see the Kinks at the local pub.
Me
That'd be
too.
awesome.
Dave Davies, I get them confused. Tori, do you know, is Dave Davies the one who's got a new album coming out this week?
I believe so. Let me double check.
I think it's Dave Davies.
think it is.
He's got a project that he's working on with the Jayhawks. And so he's got a new album coming out on Friday. Tori,
Yes.
that is correct?
It is correct.
Okay, so Tori's going to give us a full look at all of the new music that will be in stores. She does that every Thursday at 9 o'clock here on KZOK. And speaking of new music, well, this is a new music of sorts. Just like the first 2 albums, The Doors' third album, 1968's Waiting for the Sun, is getting a deluxe reissue for their 50th anniversary this year. It'll be called the 50th Anniversary Deluxe Edition.
Okay.
Great name for it.
It is, really.
This will have newly remastered audio, a disc of previously unreleased rough mixes, 5 live songs from their performance in Copenhagen in September of '68. There'll be a 7-inch single to commemorate Hello, I Love You. There'll be the B-side of Love Street and oh so much more.
And have they played on stages live together sporadically throughout the years or just no contact at all?
No, they have.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I forget what they call the incarnation of the Doors because obviously they have a different singer.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was still thinking about the Kinks, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Of course,
Nope,
the Doors don't play live. Nobody's alive.
Well, they had Ray Manzarek and what's his butt did do some touring together, but they had to call it something different. I can't remember what they called it.
Well, what's his butt?
Robbie Krieger?
Yeah,
Robbie Krieger and...
Ray Manzarek.
Okay, yeah, I guess they can't call it the Doors. That's why they have Creedence Clearwater Revisited and weird stuff like that.
Right.
But they had been doing some work, just collaborating with other bands and stuff. But no, this is more just about 50th anniversaries and Waiting for the Sun is from the
I've
Doors.
interviewed Robbie Krieger half a dozen times and always impressed with how bright that guy is.
Yeah.
Because you think, I don't know, rock bands getting older in life, they wouldn't lose some of their edge. Not that guy, until he died.
Susan Sarandon broke protocol when she saw the Queen in England. She marched right on up to her and introduced herself.
Oh. She didn't touch her, did she?
Yeah, you can't touch the queen.
Heck yeah.
She did.
touched the queen?
You can't, first of all, you cannot walk up to the queen and introduce yourself.
Right.
No.
And second, no, you cannot touch the queen. All of that has to be initiated by the queen.
Was she wrestled to the ground?
I'm surprised she was not.
She should have been. You big American boob. You can't do that.
She had two of them, but yeah. So Susan Sarandon, 71 years old now, spotted the queen at the Royal Windsor Cup polo match. She got up, walked over, and introduced herself.
Your Majesty, I'm a big fan.
Now, the
Nice
gesture
hat.
was
Yeah.
harmless, but royal protocol states that guests should wait to be introduced to the queen before speaking to her.
Yeah.
But the queen remained seated, shook her hand, and had a huge smile on her face and said, "It's so lovely to meet you."
So the queen was drunk.
Isn't she always?
Yeah.
I heard she loves the gin.
You know what? I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like an American movie star. You know, what it does, it overinflates your importance. And Susan Sarandon doesn't need help with that and her causes and stuff like that. I think her self-worth is overly important. And then to touch the queen.
Yeah. She knows she's breaking protocol.
Yeah, she
there.
does. Sure she does. She's not an idiot.
Well, Michelle Obama did it when she met the queen back when they were.
What'd she do?
She touched her.
But uninvited?
Yes.
Wow.
You have to be introduced, and then the queen initiates any contact. Michelle Obama walked up and grabbed her hand. So nice to meet you.
Well, that's crazy. Was she the first lady at that
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, and she
And nobody
seriously-
introduced her to the queen?
Wait, who outranks? No, somebody introduced her, but apparently the queen didn't reach out
The
first
queen.
to shake
The queen she could have had her head chopped off.
Really?
Yeah, sure. They don't do that nearly as much as they used to.
But if you say, like, the president is the leader of the free world,
Yeah.
right? So he outranks the queen, right?
Nobody outranks, in my opinion, for fun's sakes. Everybody outranks the queen when it comes to real life. You can't.
Yes.
She doesn't do it. She doesn't have her finger on the button. She has her finger on porridge or something. Who knows? But just for fun's sake, you have a crown. The other guy doesn't have a crown.
True. We need to get crowns.
We do need crowns.
I'm willing to bet Donald Trump's got several crowns.
Yeah, let's wait till he's out of office before we initiate the crown
Yeah.
policy.
Netflix has made a deal with Mark Wahlberg, Peter Berg, and the Robert B. Parker estate to bring back the series Spenser. This is the wisecracking boxer turned Boston-based private eye.
Yeah.
40 novels. There was a show in the 1980s that starred Robert Urich, and they said these books are so great.
It was called Spenser for Hire, and I liked it.
yeah.
I liked it a lot because here's one thing: he lived in Vegas, I think.
Boston.
And what happened in the show, in the TV show?
Yeah, it was all Boston-based.
Okay, he drove a very cool car. I thought a '57 T-Bird, but that's kind of a girl car. But anyway, he'd get in his driveway, push the button, and the garage door would go up. And he'd pull up, and he'd be in his living room. I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Well, and Peter Berg he used to be an actor, but now he's just behind the camera for so many great projects that have been super successful. So him, Mark Wahlberg, Netflix, and the estate has approved it. The author died back in 2010.
And is Mark Wahlberg going to play the main character?
I think so.
Wow,
Yeah.
that will be cool.
Jerry Seinfeld is weighing in on the fallout of the Roseanne bar controversy.
Yeah.
He said, "I didn't see why it was necessary to fire her. Why would you murder someone who's committing suicide? I've never seen someone ruin their entire career with one button push. That was fresh. I would have liked to have seen someone else play her role. They should have given another comedian the chance
Yeah.
to play her."
To play the role of Roseanne?
I don't necessarily agree with that.
No, I also don't agree that you didn't have to fire her, that she would have quit. She wouldn't have quit.
No, he's saying she'd have killed herself.
Oh,
Why fire somebody who's committing suicide, is what he said.
Yeah,
Why murder
I took it as
somebody
career
who's
suicide,
committing
right?
suicide? Either way, you're not on the show anymore. If you commit any kind of suicide,
Right,
you're
but
off
she
the show.
wasn't backing down, at least initially.
No,
She was
most
saying, "I
certainly-
did nothing
would-
wrong."
But you can't do it. And Jerry knows you can't do it. She owns it. She owns the character.
Yeah.
It's based on her life. You can't do it because you end up in bed with her again either way.
Right.
And that's just a nightmare.
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee returns for another season July 6th on Netflix, and he says he at one point hangs out with Ellen DeGeneres, and it's awesome.
Cool.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Another big outing for the Seattle Mariners. Another real big game against the Baltimore Orioles. Kyle Seager on fire. Isn't that right, Derek?
That is correct. Seager had a great game. He was filling in for Nelson Cruz, who was out with some lower back tightness. So Seager took over the cleanup spot and just went off. He homered in the fourth, and then in the eighth inning, RBI'd 2 runs in. So the Mariners got the win 3-2, thanks to some great batting from Kyle Seager.
Nice.
All from Kyle Seager. All the runs were from Kyle Seager.
100% of the offense, Kyle Seager.
Yeah, so great game. Unfortunately, Houston won as well, but hopefully the Mariners continue their winning ways. They are playing the Orioles again. First pitch 4:05. Wade LeBlanc, who's been outstanding in his last couple of outings, will get the start against Alex Cobb. So 4:05 start time on Root Sports. But if you would like to win tickets to an upcoming home game, you can right now by playing an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. We're going to play you a song clip, and then if you can tell us the title, the artist, and the year it came out, you can win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. All right, Derek, play the clip.
Some of these you want to shout it out. Like I almost, as soon as it started playing, I wanted to scream out who it was, what the song was.
Call right now, 800-252-1025. Artist, song title, year it came out. First person to correctly give us that info wins tickets. The Detroit Tigers, 2 of their stars, had much to celebrate Monday night despite a loss to Oakland. Leonys Martin, former Mariner, and Jose Iglesias, both natives of Cuba, were among a group of people sworn in as American citizens during a pregame festivity.
Congratulations. That must be a fantastic moment.
Yeah, and pretty cool to do it in a ballpark in front of
share it with
the
the
American
fans.
Pass sign.
Martin came over back in 2009. He defected, and it's not that easy to do. Get away from Cuba, and said this is a really emotional moment. I won't forget my country, but it's an amazing time to be part of the United States.
Escape from Cuba. Diana Nyad could do it. Just get in the water, swim till you get to America. Although I hear that's harder than she thought.
Crazy story in sports news. A dead body was found at the New Jersey home of New York Giants quarterback Janoris Jenkins yesterday. Now, when authorities first disclosed this, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Becky, it's an NFL player.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Turns out he was not at home at the time. He was out of state.
Is that what he says?
Yeah. Well, so it's not him because he's not.
Yeah, that's not the point. He's also not the murderer.
Right.
That's the point in my head.
Yes. So they said he was out of state. They know that it's definitely not him, but we have no idea who it is yet. The authorities either don't know or just have not revealed who
How is that
it
even
is.
possible anymore?
Yeah.
With the DNA and weirdness and fingerprints and facial recognition and stuff that we have to go, nope, we've had this dead body in Jersey, a real state, no matter what you've heard, and we can't figure out who that is. That seems odd.
Well, typically, even if they do know who it is, they won't tell you until they notify next of kin. But initially, this report was dead body found at his house, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, this poor football player is dead. But no, it's some other poor person. Potentially, it's a football player.
Why are they in his house, though?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Was he living there? Did he break in?
But
I
don't
wanna
they know the football player's phone number and say, hey, there's a dead body who isn't likely to be?
Yeah, do you know this guy?
Was anybody living with you?
They
He's
should
6
ask
foot
those
7 inches tall, 300 pounds. There's a chance he played football.
In World Cup action, France and Denmark made it to the knockout stage after a 0-0 draw. Peru defeated Australia 2-0, but both teams were sent packing from the tournament. Argentina and Croatia advanced to the next round by beating Nigeria and Iceland, respectively, 2-1. So it's game over for Iceland, right, Paul?
Yeah, Iceland's out, unfortunately. They were that fun underdog to root for.
Yeah.
Plus, they had the hottest fans, I think.
Is that
They
true?
were
Both male and
good-looking.
female. Yeah, just they're Viking, just that-
Viking helmets?
Yeah, they did wear
Yeah, I
Viking
figured.
helmets. Yeah.
I'm over the guy that yells goal.
Yeah.
That
Like all of
specifically
them,
the guy.
or
No,
that-
the guy that I specifically mean. I'm assuming you could go, oh yeah, that guy.
Right, yeah.
I think it stopped being about the greatness of the guy who made the goal and how awesome that was and how difficult that is. To now, how long can that guy hold his breath?
Yeah.
Because it's not like the one that started with goal.
There's one of the World Cup commentators right now who he tries to hit 3 different octaves while he's doing it. And
I did not know that.
It's crazy.
That's funny. Well, today, Mexico versus Sweden and South Korea versus Germany. That match starts in about 10 minutes. Switzerland versus Costa Rica, Serbia versus Brazil. That match time is at 11. So a lot of exciting World Cup action continuing. Yesterday, the Storm lost to the Lynx 91-79. And tomorrow, the Seattle Storm play the LA Sparks at 6:30. Playing an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia because they're on the road playing the Baltimore Orioles 4:05 start time on Root Sports.
Gonna whip on them again.
I hope so. I really do. We're looking good. Derek, play the clip again. Is it just me, or do we always seem to cue it up to the name of the song? That they're singing the name of the song.
We don't make it all that hard.
I'm going to go with the Beatles.
Yep.
Can't Get No Satisfaction.
That's right.
2008.
Yep. And Danny is our winner.
There we go. Oh, what do I win?
Ken in Lakewood is actually our winner. Congratulations to Ken. He knew it was Styx, Come Sail Away, 1977.
Yeah, Danny wins a freshly shaven head.
Thanks, man. I hadn't thought about that in about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that happens at 9 o'clock.
Clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking.
Ken in Lakewood's going to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to what, Derek?
Ken won tickets for the game on Saturday night at 7:10 versus the Kansas City Royals, which just happens to be Turn Ahead the Clock night.
Turn ahead the clock night.
The future is back on Saturday night when the Mariners turn ahead the clock versus the Royals on the 20th anniversary of the original event. The Mariners will don futuristic threads, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a futuristic Mariners cap courtesy of Alaska Airlines. Blast to mariners.com for tickets.
Awesome. All right. Congratulations again, Ken. And the rest of you, you've got another chance to win Mariners tickets tomorrow morning at this same time.
You know, these are words I don't usually get to say in radio. I'd like to invite you guys to watch something.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The technology. You kids. So anyway, I think I'm doing a nice thing. My sister, unfortunately, has a touch of cancer. I mean, she has cancer, and chemo is going to make all her hair fall out. And I said to my sister, you know what? I'm going to shave my head and join you. And she said, well, that's sweet. And then we hung up. And then I thought, well, that was so stupid. Why'd I say that? But anyway, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to support, in the also cancer research. So you can watch it a couple of different places. Danny TV, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you do to get there?
You watch it live on our Facebook. We're on right now. You can watch us right now, but definitely be watching at 9 o'clock. Just go to facebook.com/KZOKFM. And we're right there streaming live. And then also after the show, Tori edits it and puts it back up on the YouTube page. So
terrific. So there's a lot of me. I hope I have a nice shaped skull. Also, if you want to say, hey, I want to support you or your sister or whoever, and you don't want to shave your head, you know what you can do? You can make a donation if you would like to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. And you just go to Komen.org. That's KOMEN.org. And then American Cancer Society, they lock down the address of cancer.org.
Yeah.
Dig that. So give a couple bucks if you can.
At 9 o'clock this morning. Watch
That's
it
my
all.
counting line.
There was a story making news all around the world about a kid who found a gun in a couch at IKEA.
Did he have to assemble it himself?
So somebody before him sat down and didn't realize the gun had fallen out of his waistband and stood up and left.
That seems so crazy.
Yes.
This is rhetorical. You ever carry a gun?
I have not.
Okay, you ever carry a gun under your jacket so people wouldn't know?
I have, yeah.
You're always aware it's there.
Right.
You're a guy with a gun. No matter what, you're afraid of it. You think, should I have brought this? It's just a weird thing. To have it fall out and you not know seems weird to me.
Yeah, whether it's concealed carry or open carry, I can't imagine going, oh, where'd my gun go?
Oh, yeah, I wonder what happened.
No, yeah.
Well, I agree, and I don't know why this happened. Obviously, he's apologetic. And IKEA says they have a no guns policy, but this guy brought it in anyway. The kid picked it up and fired it. Thankfully, nobody was injured.
How old was the kid, do you know?
No, but they said he did shoot it. It just didn't hit a human.
Wow.
I mean, the chances, especially in IKEA, isn't it full of people all the time?
Yeah, packed.
Swedish meatballs all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Swedish meatballs all the time.
It kind of is making me wonder about some of the weird stuff that we've all seen in stores, whether it's a person or something that's for sale. A lot of weird stuff you see in stores.
Mine's a person, and I have mentioned it before. Amy and I both saw Stevie Wonder in a camera shop. How bizarre is that? And, you know, the guy, what they say is you get super whammy hearing when you can't hear anything. Everybody must have went, why is Stevie Wonder in a camera shop? This is so weird. That's Stevie Wonder in a camera shop. But that's a weird thing I saw in a store.
Well, you guys listening, when have you seen something peculiar in a store? What was it? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025 or text your answer into 90627.
All right, so this kid, he's in an IKEA store. There's a gun. I'm just going to assume it's in the couch or something that somebody sat on. He finds this gun and shoots it in IKEA. Thank goodness no one was hit. But here it begs the question, when have you seen something peculiar in a store? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or text away to 90627.
Let's talk to Alex in Tacoma.
What up, Alex?
How you people doing?
Oh, good.
Hey,
Wait a
what do you
minute,
mean, you people?
bastard, tried to sneak that one in.
Yeah, I know it did, huh? I saw something really strange at Denny's in Lakewood a long time ago. Me and my friend were eating. There was an old man and an old lady, and the old lady had a dummy on her lap while they were eating, and the eyes were going back and forth, and she was making the hands move, and it was
Okay,
that's
super
so
weird.
Yeah.
Super weird, Alex. First phone call out of the box.
Yeah.
Couldn't be weirder.
You put a ventriloquist dummy anywhere, and it's the most out of place thing possible.
Except when you go to the diner and you order a really good piece of pie and there's a lady that just is carrying a log around everywhere she goes.
What?
The log? The lady carries a log everywhere.
Pretty sure that was Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Oh.
Rob in Louisville, when have you seen something peculiar in a store?
Real quick, Danny, I think it's really great what you're doing today. My wife's a breast cancer survivor. Unfortunately, she lost one breast. So if you do this today, I'm going to shave my head too.
You know what?
wow.
I got you know, I don't want to feel responsible. First of all, super nice. I was surprised because people can be mean-spirited sometimes. And I tweeted this out last night at some point, and the response was almost 100% positive, and people really nice. So God bless you, Rob, and you do what you think is right, and God bless your wife.
Yeah.
All right, now back to, they got a little hardware store here in Louisville, and the owner's got a parrot. When you walk in, this dang thing mocks you and insults you and puts you down. I've never seen nothing like it.
So a live parrot inside the hardware store, you walk in, it says,
calls your names.
you're
and stuff.
ugly.
Oh, that's awesome.
At the very least, because I don't know why a lot of people, and maybe it's they just curse all around the house. Most parrots that I've seen speak often curse because people are yelling at
they pick it up from
whoever it
other
is.
people.
Yeah, they pick it up.
That's got to be, especially because he's in Louisville, it's got to be somebody who did it on purpose as part of their store.
I don't remember how it ended up, but remember the parrot that was had to testify in a murder case?
Oh, yeah.
That's craziness, man.
That lady totally killed
Killed
I think
that
it was her
guy.
husband. We're asking, have you seen something peculiar in a store, and what was it? Call us and let us know, 800-252-1025, or text your answer to 90627. Let's hear from Kim in Centralia.
I was in the Walmart in Woodland the other day, and there was a snake slithering across the floor.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
That's super
My
weird.
My mom's petrified of snakes, and I did not go up and tell anybody. She was so upset with me.
You gotta
You
tell
didn't tell
somebody.
You got to tell somebody.
I don't know. I figured he'd find his way out. I don't know.
Oh, come on. There's
See-
two things. You gotta tell somebody and you gotta suck the venom out.
That's what I'm thinking. First of all, I'm thinking I don't know why because it's a Walmart or Walmart. But I got the snake curled up behind the canned goods, and you reach in to grab some, and it bites you on your hand, and you swell up and die. Now, the odds of it being poisonous or venomous are really small, to be honest.
How crazy to see, first of all, and second
Crazy.
of all, I cannot believe Kim didn't tell anybody.
That's
Yeah.
crazy right there.
I know this is going to sound not all that weird, but I found it super weird. I've seen it in restaurants, and I've seen it just in little stores. Like you go up to a counter, and maybe there'll be a peppermint patty. You buy it for $0.25 or something. But Mexican jumping beans.
Yeah.
Why? And they're so scary.
They're scary.
Aren't they just
You're
bugs
frightened of them?
inside?
I'm not sure what makes jumping
Yeah, I don't
Mexican
know
jumping
either.
beans work. I think it's some kind of worm or larva, but they never get born. It's never gonna dig its way out of that bean.
But
But
it-
yeah, no,
no,
they're
it's a
weird. They're
bug.
weird. It's no snake at Walmart.
No.
but it's weird. Sure.
We've got some good texts into 90627. Somebody says that they were at a grocery store and a guy walked by with 3 or 4 watches on each arm.
Oh,
Like
that's
a
strange.
like a criminal in a 1950s cartoon. Got all the watches on.
Somebody else was in a clothing store in Florida, and an older German couple decided to try on swimsuits right there in the open. Or just took all their clothes off and
my.
put on their swimsuits. It was not a pretty sight.
Really, Germans usually kind of in okay shape.
Yeah.
A lot of
Old
bratwurst.
couple.
Old couple.
Oh, gravity has grabbed a hold of them.
Debbie in Federal Way, have you seen something peculiar in a store?
I have. I was down in Oregon. My husband and I were down there shopping for windows at a Home Depot down around Auburn. And when we went in there looking for windows, they had toilets on display, and somebody had done number 2 in one of them.
Oh, goodness.
Probably
My
a
niece.
kid.
You know what's weird about that is I think we may know the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that lady called up and said her kid did it and she didn't know what to do? She was so embarrassed.
Yeah, that happens every now and again.
Yeah, it does. I guess I'll go with Home Depot. I saw it at Home Depot years and years and years and years and years ago. Well, you actually know what year. And they had bottled water and hard hats, and it said "Prep for Y2K."
Oh, gee.
No.
And I couldn't tell to this day if they were kidding around or not, because most normal people did not expect the world to end, but a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I remember once going to a Starbucks and seeing a former child star dressed as Thor.
Sort of God.
Yep. You don't remember that, do you?
Was it you, Danny?
I'm assuming it was me.
It was you.
How many other child stars? Because I actually own the Thor suit.
Yeah.
I'm
So
then I'm
it's
definitely
likelihood
guessing it was
it's
you.
me, yeah.
Carl in Tenino, when did you see something peculiar in a store?
Well, it wasn't a store. It was in a little restaurant up in Northern California. It was an old house that they changed into a restaurant, and they had a unisex bathroom. You walk through the door into the bathroom, they had a naked female mannequin sitting in the bathtub.
Wow.
That's
That,
weird.
that is weird. And was it so it was full on naked?
Yeah.
Was it pretty?
Well, I don't even remember. That was a long time ago.
Because I got to tell you, I went to Victoria's Secret with the wife, and I found all of those mannequins to be fairly hot.
There's a lot of weird stuff in bathrooms. When I was in Russia, they this one place I went had Charlie Chaplin silent movies playing. When you go to look in the mirror, that's what you would see.
Oh,
there was no
neat.
mirror there. It was
Weird.
super weird. And Danny, I think it was New York. You went to some restaurant, and the bathroom was like clear until you like close the lock. Or
No,
something.
that was Philly. That was right near our house. That was right. You and I lived. I don't know if it was Morimoto's or whatever it was, but the whole door, just not to the bathroom, to in front of the toilet, was clear. And then you'd flip a switch, and it would go smoke colored immediately.
So weird.
But I never felt comfortable about it.
Yeah.
Paul, have you seen something unusual in a store?
I have. I was in a Walmart in Renton fairly late at night. So that's like 3 strikes against me right there. And I was in the kitchen aisle, and this woman walks up and tries to pull a knife out of one of the knife blocks, and it didn't come out. And so I just thought, okay, she's going to stop. She tried to pull that knife out. She just starts yanking at the knives, trying to pull them out. She gets really panicked, and she looks over at me and just has this weird, like, big toothy grin on her face as she furiously tries to wiggle a knife out of a knife block. I don't even think they're actual, like, full knives. I
You
think it's
should've-
just a handle glued in there.
Yeah.
You should have looked at her and just casually gone, Excalibur. She should have gone about her merry way.
How about Richard in Seattle? Did you see something peculiar in a store?
Hey, gang. Yeah, actually, was just walking up to a store. So I'm an Alki kid, born and raised, and I was with my mom. I was about 10, 11 years old. And where the Cactus restaurant's at down in Alki, it used to be an IGA grocery store, and cars could park right up to the building or across on the 63rd side. And as we approached the building, there was a tan Volkswagen Bug in the first stall right up against the building. The door was on the corner. There was a totem pole there. And as we walked up, as a kid, I was excited because my dad had a 63 Bug at one point. So I'm looking at the car, and I look up, and I see this guy walking out, and I recognize him from being on TV, and I'm trying to get my mom's attention. I'm leaning into her, telling her, it's him. She said, it's who? I said, that's the guy they're looking for on TV. He was dirt blonde hair, tank top, had a cast on his arm, shorts, and he locked eyes on me, and my mom didn't go to call the cops or call the police around the corner at some payphones, and he gave me an S-eating grin.
Are you going to eventually tell us who this is?
Yeah, we're dying here.
Yeah, that was Ted Bundy. And
we're not the only ones dying.
He later ended up killing one of my dad's friend's daughters. Brenda Ball was one of his victims.
Well, I was about to make 9 different jokes, and now I'm not gonna. That's crazy. And I did not know that Ted Bundy was all over the TV and still walking around.
Yeah, me
Usually you go into full-on hiding or you've been caught already.
Crazy.
Wow, that's a wild story.
Another great text of something weird somebody saw in a store: Snickerdoodle flavored hummus.
Ew.
Gross, right? Snickerdoodle flavored.
Is a Snickerdoodle? Isn't it
Cookie.
a dog? Oh, I thought it was
Cookie.
a dog.
Yeah, no.
That's
You're
a
thinking like a
delicious cookie.
Labradoodle.
Labradoodle. That's a dog that can draw.
Yep, exactly.
I saw it in the commercial.
Dory, have you seen something peculiar in a store?
Yeah, so I was at this funky little shop downtown Seattle, and they had all this cute stuff like records and clothing and everything. And I come to this wall, and there's all these jars, and they're filled with formaldehyde and body parts and like little creatures. It was kind of nasty, but kind of cool.
You bought the whole shelf.
Yeah, it's funny because the next time I went, they were all gone, so I'm sure they got complaints.
Oh, wow.
Or sold them all.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like you're going to get complaints.
Derek, what have you seen in a store?
There was a grocery store that I used to go to, and every single time I would go in there, in the aisle that has like grains, and I don't know what else you'd have in that aisle, but there was a bird, like a pigeon, that was always in there. And he would just eat on the stuff off the floor when people were like scooping the grains into their bag, and some would like fall on the ground. And he was always there. And I asked the employees, like, what's up with that? And they're like, oh, yeah, no, we named him. He lives here. Like, it's totally cool.
Super weird.
Like, and they don't care at all, like, that there might be bird droppings all over the food.
Where do you shop?
A normal grocery store with 3 letters.
Normal grocery store with oats scooping.
Oh, that is so strange. What is also strange? The name of this game Paul came up with.
Yeah.
Fogerty or...
Fogerty or...
That's the name of the game. The prize is fantastic. It is tickets to see John Fogerty. If you would like to win these tickets, call us to play right now. 800-252-1025. KZOK, we are playing a very difficult game this week. Fogerty or...
Fogerty or...
You could win a pair of tickets to see John Fogerty July 19th at Chateau Saint Michel. Now, the first show is sold out, but tickets are now available for the second show, and that's what we are giving you a chance to win tickets to. All right, here's how it works. You have to tell us if the audio you hear is Fogerty or something that's just totally not Fogerty.
That's what we should have called it.
Our contestant is Orion in Snohomish.
Hey, Orion, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Very well. Thank you for asking. All right, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I do.
And do you understand the rules of the game?
Yes.
Then let's commence. John Fogerty is known for his tunes and melodies, and today's or is known for Looney Tunes and merry melodies. Listen carefully to this audio clip and tell us, is it Fogerty or Foghorn Leghorn?
Hey, boy, pay attention to me when I'm talking to you. Okay? I say pay attention, boy.
Oh, tough one.
Yeah, this is hard.
Was
Orion,
that,
you know?
Was that Fogerty or Foghorn Leghorn?
Orion?
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't know?
No, he knows he's not there.
I think he's not there. Did we lose Orion? He will be disqualified.
His phone must have cut out.
Hello?
Oh,
What the
there you
hell
are.
happened to you?
I do not know.
Oh.
Man, I was doing my best work and you wrecked it. All right, man. So
So
the question is, did you hear all the clue and everything?
I did hear the audio clip, yeah.
All right, then. Was that Fogerty or Foghorn Leghorn?
So, funny thing is, John Fogerty has actually said that exact same sentence to me before.
To you,
However,
personally.
that clip was Foghorn Leghorn.
Well, hey, yay.
For a hot second there, I thought Orion was getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Why is Orion having conversations with John Fogerty?
I think it was
They're-
just a
they're-
joke.
You do?
Sleeps.
Oh, I think they chatted.
Oh, they did, for sure. Orion and John. Congratulations.
And he said, I said, boy.
I said, boy. Boy, pay attention to me, boy.
Orion's
Put that
going
in
to the
my
Jeep
box.
winners window in our lobby to pick up his tickets to Foghorn Leghorn, July 19th at Chateau Saint Michel. John Fogerty will be opening up for him.
Yeah.
The rest of you can win a pair of tickets tomorrow at this same time. And up next, the big news of the day.
Jelly Bean's joke of the week.
Hey there, Uncle Danny.
Hey there, Jelly Bean.
Is it time for my joke now?
It sure is.
Where does the general keep his armies?
All right, I got to admit, I do not know. Where does the general keep his armies?
In his sleeveys. Get it?
Yeah.
Armies?
No, I got it.
Sleeveys?
Yes.
I can't wait to see your big, beautiful, bald head, Uncle Danny.
It's coming up, kiddo. So, speaking of iHeart radio stations, want one? That is a thing you couldn't have said just a few years ago. But I'm not kidding. You can have one with the iHeart radio app. Listen on your smart speakers. Just say, Alexa, play KZOK on iHeartRadio, and she will. Or, okay, Google, play KZOK on iHeartRadio, and you'll get you some music.
We've had several stories in the news about couples getting busted for having adult relations in public.
Yeah.
Just a few moments ago, we were talking about a couple on an airplane who just felt the urge. They just had the impulse and got busy on the airplane in their seats. They didn't go into the
Wow, they did it in the
bathroom.
seats?
Right there on the seats. They were in the mood. And the last was yesterday, I think. Last time we talked about it was a couple who were out for a walk and then decided just have it right there next to the side of the road.
Yeah, it seems weird.
I get doing something on impulse, but that's not one of the things I feel the impulse to do.
I'm not positive that is a standard impulse. I think that is a fetish. And let's go somewhere as quick as we can, have sex where we shouldn't do it. I think that's the thing that's exciting to them.
Well, this one couple has been busted several times, but the people on the airplane, they were in the last row. Maybe they thought nobody would notice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
I'm a member of the Half Mile Club from when I was a much younger man.
Yeah.
And
does that mean you were half mile up, or you? Never mind.
I bet you know the answer to that, Paul.
But I think a lot of us have done something on a whim or on an impulse. And I bet for both me and Tori, one of the things is it's your hair. We wind up like, hey, I'm just going to cut my hair off. And then all of a sudden you have 6 and 8 inches less. I know, hard for you guys to imagine.
Yeah. I have a bad one.
What's that?
I get tattoos
Oh.
on a whim and an impulse. Now, I have some that matter to me. Not many. But yeah, no, I'll just be walking around. There's a tattoo parlor, and I'll think, oh, this will be fun. What would be good? I love you. The Rolling Stones' lips or mouth like Tori has. But I have half a dozen tattoos that I don't even remember why I got them.
I'm pretty sure when you got your giant back piece of Seattle, that might have been on a whim.
It was totally on a whim. It was completely on a whim.
Well, you guys listening, do you ever do something on a whim or on an impulse? What was it? Something big? Like a back piece? Call us now, 800-252-1025, or text your answer into 90627 now. It's Sarah with your filthy forecast. Some say 3 is the magic number. And what a threesome it was. But we know the magic number, 69. That's what we'll experience today.
Oh.
Temperature of 69 after 3 magical days of sunshine. Nice, deep, penetrating rays. But enjoy Thong Thursday while you can, because you know a pounding like this can't last. Tomorrow, I see London. I see France. I see Tori's underpants. Wait, that's not right. I see London. I see France. I see a rain chance.
Oh,
wet spot comes
totally
up
different.
tomorrow. A high of just 64. But I know some tricks to enjoying all the wetness. Join me next time.
Wow, I know.
The best weather front in Seattle. I'm Sarah.
that was extreme.
Yeah, that was in fact Sarah's filthy forecast. But join us right here tomorrow, right around this same time, because if you can tell us where Sarah's Beaver's been, you're going to win a pair of tickets to see Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, also Cheap Trick, and that's happening at the Washington State Fair.
News is brought to you by the Evergreen Speedway. Investigators are now looking for clues as they try to figure out what sparked a raging barge fire in South Seattle last night. Firefighters battled the blaze on the Duwamish River. It broke out about 8:15 on South Myrtle Street off East Marginal Way. And now they are trying to figure out exactly how this started. There's a possibility of a propane tank, but not sure why there was a propane tank on a barge that was loaded with crushed cars 3 stories high.
Right. And the environmental problem they're having is probably not that much with the cars. They've been crushed and should have no fluids in them. So I don't know what sparked.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, lots of smoke, though.
Lots of
And nobody was hurt, right?
Nobody was hurt.
Because it was an amazing-looking fire. Like, it just looked really cool. The flames were like 40, 50 feet tall.
Yep. And Deep Purple sang Smoke on the Water, and they really meant
Exactly,
it.
right, yeah.
You guys know how excited I get for the cool moons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I
text
get
you
your
guys.
phone calls at 4 o'clock in the morning, look at the moon.
Oh my God, you guys got to look at the moon. And then you mock me relentlessly. Well, even astronomers are encouraging people to look at the moon tonight because it's a strawberry moon.
What's that?
It's actually going to be pink. The moon tonight, when you look up in the sky, will have a pink cast and will appear larger than normal.
So then my question for you would be, why are we playing Blue Moon if it's a pink moon
Apparently
for
we
a
don't have the
strawberry
song.
moon?
We don't have the
Derek?
song
You
Pink
don't have
Moon.
Strawberry Moon, Derek?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Derek
man.
is colorblind. You didn't know this about him? He had no idea.
The things I don't know about that kid, he can't swim. Do you know that?
I did know that,
I find
yeah.
that super weird in a grown-up.
But the thing that's weird is here it's going to be a gray moon because it's going to be cloudy.
Well, hopefully the clouds will part long enough to see the strawberry moon, and if you don't tonight, it'll also have it tomorrow. A little less so tomorrow, but it'll still be strawberry hued.
Why is it like that?
It is because of the southeast rise, and it'll be at its fullest, by the way, at 5 till 10, but it's the first full moon of the summer, which is traditionally called the strawberry moon. I don't know I don't know why
we gotcha.
it's pink.
Yeah. And is it a sailor's delight or is it sailors be warning? I don't know.
That's different.
No, that's totally different.
But which way is it if it's a red sky at
Red
night?
sky at morning, sailor take warning.
Okay.
Red sky at night, sailor
Sailor's
take
delight.
flight.
Oh.
Take flight?
Yeah. I don't know what kind
Flap
of
their
boat you
wings?
have.
But you just said it both ways. A
Well, I
warning
can
and
do
take
that.
flight. I always heard sailor's delight.
Yeah, me
All
too.
right, sailor's delight, which I thought was something at Baskin Robbins. I'll have the sailor's delight, please.
FBI agents descended upon a packed JetBlue flight in New York last night after a radio error signaled the plane had been hijacked. Authorities at JFK in New York activated the airport's hijacking protocols just before takeoff. The airplane lost radio contact, triggering a massive police response. The flight crew members were able to reestablish the connection 15 minutes later and said, "Oops, false alarm."
Now, is this thing ever in the air for this or just
Hadn't
on the
taken
ground?
off yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, they said they aren't exactly sure what happened to send this false alarm to the tower, but they went on the plane as if it had been hijacked. 160 passengers, complete panic, terrified. They said, "Put your hands in the air where we can see them." And
Wow.
you just see everybody sitting in their seats with their hands above their head. And of course, somebody filmed all of this, like holding the phone under their chin while
And
they
which
put
one
their
of you
hands up.
guys is named DB Cooper? Because I've had enough of you.
Now, JetBlue says, yes, this happened, but we don't know why. The FAA is investigating. Scary.
Okay.
Something else a little weird happened on an airplane yesterday, which
All right.
kind of seems to be the norm these days. They have arrested a 19-year-old man who is accused of sprinting shirtless towards a jet at Atlanta's airport, getting close enough to the plane, and he was able to jump on the wing, totally naked, jumps up and down. Just kept on
That's bad.
jumping up and down.
Now, how jaded have we become? There's this dude in really spectacular shape running across an airport in his underwear and gets up on the wing and jumps up and down and freaks out, right?
Yeah.
The lady that tapes it on her telephone puts praying hands emojis and hashtag wow. Like, aren't you supposed to just be riveted with fear, lady,
Yeah.
that's a crazy person? He might have a bomb or something, but nope, hashtag wow.
Well, she could see he didn't have a bomb. He wasn't wearing any clothes. Where's he going to
You
put
didn't
it?
see what I saw. That's all I'm saying.
The underwear bomb?
We already had that one.
Yeah, right.
The list is out of the most expensive cities to live in.
Yeah.
The cost of living report. This is from Mercer. They do it each year, the annual cost of living
Well,
report.
the answer is Mercer.
Yeah, we got to be up there.
The world's most expensive cities are mostly in Asia.
Right.
Hong Kong, the world's most expensive city for expats, they say. Now, taking a look at it, the cost of living, Hong Kong, followed by Tokyo, Singapore, Seoul, and Shanghai.
I'm shocked about Seoul, to be honest with you, that South Korea is in there.
I'm not sure what it is. I think that they said that the reason it's Asia is that they are booming and a flourishing economy can actually make it.
Yeah, well, Tokyo's nothing new. Tokyo's up there in the top 10 for the
right.
last 20 years or something like that. But I'm just surprised at Seoul, South Korea. I bet North Korea ain't one.
No. Least expensive cities, if y'all are thinking about moving someplace with a better cost of living. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Tashkent, Uzbekistan.
Yeah, not going there. If it ends in Stan, I'm not going.
Yeah, we're
That's all
out on
there's
the
to it.
Stans.
I wouldn't even hang out with people named Stan.
Tunis, Tunisia, and Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, also on the list. The least expensive city in the United States, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yeah, but they will burn you as a witch for no good reason. Just because some teenage girl said to.
The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, met with the Pope yesterday. They hung out at the Apostolic Palace
Oh, sure.
in the Vatican. They gave each other gifts. And
The French guy gives him some cologne. The Pope gives you everlasting life. It's a fair trade-off.
Macron made the visit to accept an inherited title of honorary canon of the Basilica of St. John Lateran.
Okay.
Why? Why does he get this?
I don't know, but he's doing a pretty good job for a kid.
Yeah.
When he hangs out with Donald Trump, he looks like some kind of ornament that would just be attached to Donald Trump's wrist.
It's a cool title. Though.
Yeah.
It's not going to fit on a business card.
I was looking for a while there. I was really hip to getting a title, and there was this Italian baronhood for sale. 65 G's, you get the legitimate title, Baron Bonaduce, and the guy's lands.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how big his lands were, but it didn't really matter because the first part of that story was $65,000. But it seemed like it would be cool.
Well, the pontiff gave Macron, who, by the way, was baptized a Catholic at age 12, a medallion of St. Martin of Tours, which shows Martin on horseback looking a lot like Vladimir Putin.
Shirtless?
He is shirtless.
Wow.
He's got a cloak on.
But is he fighting
He's got
a bear?
a cloak on?
Yeah.
When was this picture taken?
This is a medallion, and so it's an engraving.
Oh, okay.
It's not a photograph.
It's a totally different thing.
Macron gave the Pope a rare copy of Georges Bernanos' 1936 book, Diary of a Country Priest. I mean, that begs
That's
the
on my
question.
reading list for the summer. I'm
Yeah.
getting around
He
it.
also didn't want to carry a big book, so he gave him French fighting tactics. It was a really light book.
Page 1, surrender.
Surrender.
What would you have given the Pope?
A hickey. This guy, I don't think he's had hickeys recently. And he's always wearing those high collars. You can't see it.
For sure you were going to say a whoopee cushion. You threw me there. A woman is facing drug possession charges after deputies say she reported for jury duty with something on her person that she shouldn't.
All right.
Christine Mittler, age 39, shows up for jury duty and set off some alarms at the security area.
It was the duty.
So they found on her person, right? So she sets off the metal detector. They're like, all right, what you got here? 2 foil packets with cocaine.
Oh, foil? Who carries
Foil.
their blowing foil?
What do you carry it in?
Paper, plastic bag, or a glass vial?
I guess.
We had a friend that tried to go to Vegas with, and this is, I guess, in the 70s, and he tried to take his cocaine and I guess our cocaine with it, and he put the baggie in the foil so the dogs wouldn't smell it, and then started to walk through a metal detector.
Yeah.
Luckily, somebody caught it because we're a bunch of high school students, and we went, no, don't do that.
Well, they also found another little straw that tested positive for meth. She said, oh, yeah, those belong to me. I forgot they were in my pocket. Oops. Can I still stand on jury duty? And they said no.
That's a pretty good way out.
Yeah.
Amy had to do jury duty one time. She didn't want to do it. And I don't know anybody that doesn't want to do it. And I said, tell them that you're married to a talk show host, because that's bad right there, who is a thrice convicted felon. They will not let you on that jury. And she told them, and they went, yeah, can you be honest? And she said, well, yeah, and then sit down. She had to stay. My ploy did not work.
Princess Ayako of Japan is making a decision to follow her heart, and it is making headlines around the world. According to an official announcement put out yesterday by Japan's imperial household, Ayako will marry a commoner.
Oh, her father immediately turned over a tea table.
Now, the way it's set up there, the Japanese monarchy, it's really thought to be the oldest in the world, and they're trying to modernize it because the way it's set up is it's a male-only succession, and women who marry non-royals have to leave.
What do you mean?
She's leaving the royal family.
Oh, you get kicked out of the royal family.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So imagine, Prince Harry got married to an actress, Meghan Markle. If the rules were the same over there, he'd be kicked out.
I would kick him out for that. Who marries an American actress, divorcee? Does she have a kid?
No.
No? Okay, one strike not against her. The other strike's an American actress? Yikes.
Well, this is the second in this family to make the same decision. They say love trumps over royalty.
It's not the same guy.
The same, no.
But to marry a
Because that'd be super weird.
Two princesses. Once again, Chick-fil-A are in the news for doing something awesome. An employee at a Chick-fil-A, the last time we talked about him, the employee chased down a moving vehicle to make sure they got all their sandwiches.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, this time somebody had already started to enjoy their sandwich and then wasn't enjoying it anymore because they started choking.
Sure.
In a video, you can see the customer stand up and make that pointing to my throat choking symbol sign. Another customer attempts to give him the Heimlich and is not successful. And that's why the employee at Chick-fil-A leaps over the counter, performs the Heimlich maneuver, and now he's a hero.
Well, that's adorable. And he is a hero, I think.
Yeah.
Remember when those guys would go around saying, God bless you? Oh, my God. It was horrifying.
All the different hero complexes you have, Danny, and Heimlich's not one of them?
No, Heimlich's boring, and at the best, you make someone spit. I don't want to do that. I don't like anybody who spits.
Well, as I said earlier in the week, this is Guinness World Record season.
Yeah.
And another one is making news. A 10-year-old girl named Katie is now in the Guinness Book of World Records, and she didn't even have to leave her backyard to do so. 10-year-old Katie has a unique talent for finding 4-leaf clovers. So she found 25 4-leaf clovers in a set amount of time. You need to find them by an hour's time.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, I don't.
They're not special anymore. Why do I even care about them?
Are they just always there all over the place, and Danny and I, for whatever reason, can't see them?
Have you never found a 4-leaf clover, Paul?
Maybe I found one once in my entire life.
At some point.
But I've not found 25 an hour, for instance.
Yeah, she can find just dozens of them. She's
crazy.
She's got the knack for it.
She cheats.
Yeah, I bet somebody planted 4-leaf clover seeds.
Or she has the clovers in her pocket the whole time.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And Japanese Yakuza.
Yeah.
They appear to have fallen on hard times. Statistics show that the total number of gang members in the country has dropped below the 20,000 figure for the first time. And now they've been doing some investigating, and a lot of the Yakuza are financially hurting to the point where they're stealing produce.
You're going to say getting jobs. How sad would that be to have your Yakuza working for a living?
Yeah. They're stealing produce like just to eat or to sell on the black market?
To sell.
Okay.
One gang member has been pilfering watermelons and selling them on the black market.
Dumb choice to start with something that big and
Yeah,
overseas.
right.
How many times do you convince someone you're pregnant? You know, in Japan, you will see, and Sarah knows this, all over the place, especially at the baths, big signs saying, no tattoos welcome. Why do the Yakuza still get tattoos from their shoulders to their elbows and their whole body and then down to their knees? Like, isn't that a hint you might be the Yakuza?
Yeah, but why does MS-13 get those facial tattoos?
Oh, I'm going to go with because they're super stupid.
Right.
Atlanta Braves Stadium. The Atlanta Braves were about to host the Cincinnati Reds when somebody went to the walk-in beer cooler to get all of the beer ready to go to sell in the stands. They found a dead guy in there. They're trying to figure out how he died and what he was doing.
I can tell you right now how he died.
How's that?
Drunk.
Yeah.
The guy goes into the beer lager, can't get out, starts to get cold.
I figured Tori put him in there.
I figured the guy's drunk immediately.
A 20-year-old woman is facing several charges after crashing her Jeep through a rock wall and rolling it on the side of another person's yard. This girl is being charged with aggravated driving while intoxicated.
Can you imagine coming out of that door and yelling, hey, get off my yard to a Jeep?
Well, what was happening She was on FaceTime. And drugs and alcohol. 3 things you're not supposed to be on when you drive.
You're totally not supposed to be on.
Just in case you wanted to know.
I've done it recently. I've been on. It's FaceTime I did, right? Yeah, I've done FaceTime a couple of times now.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Oh, really? I think it's cool.
It seems like there's a delay. And first of all, when I start to do it, my picture's huge. And then when that person answers, I become the size of a thumb, and their face is huge.
Right, that's the whole point, is for you to see the other person and them
What's
to
a
see you.
stupid point?
So if you wanted to just see your own face, that's called a mirror.
Right?
Yeah,
But what if I
probably
want to
have a
see,
big one in
say,
your house.
my face and my daughter's face?
Yeah, but you can't see them both the same size on the
Right, so
screen.
why can't she be little? She's a child.
You'll have to get a second phone so that you can see your face in one.
Oh, I want to do that and then put it on, attach it to some kind of visor so I can see me all the time.
Virtual reality. We'll get you those virtual reality goggles.
I was at Bed Bath & Beyond yesterday, and I was buying giant cat pillows, which are adorable, by the way.
Yeah?
But my pillows were $40.
I've seen that.
I figured they can't be real.
I've seen those too, and I can't imagine that they're of any quality.
Right. Well, I didn't buy them, so you'll never know.
Oh, you should definitely buy them so we can see if they're
I'm
really
going
good.
to buy them tomorrow and we'll see if they're good.
Believe it or not, that was the news, and it was brought to you by Evergreen Speedway. If you missed our conversation earlier, we are just 10 minutes away from Danny Bonaduce making a giant step towards supporting those with cancer.
That's a nice way to look at it. And that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Right. No, it's a wonderful thing of me. I'm awesome.
You are awesome, and you will soon be bald.
I'll bet 3 people that were going to get cancer didn't, because I'm going to do this.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's
but
how it works.
I'd imagine people visited the websites of the Susan G. Komen Foundation or American Cancer Society,
Which
made a donation.
American Cancer Society happens to be cancer.org.
Yeah, they got in early on the cancer.
Danny's wife, Amy, is in the house. She will be wielding the razor.
Yeah.
Since you didn't trust me to do it.
Hi, Amy.
Hi. Is this on? Hi.
Those are the first words you're going to go with. Is this thing on?
Can you hear me in the back?
So don't go anywhere, because under 10 minutes from now, Danny Bonaduce shaving his head in support of those with cancer. It will be streamed live where?
Danny TV on Facebook. So go to our Facebook page right now and get up the live feed.
All right, don't go anywhere. On 102.5 KZOK as the clock strikes 9. Danny, are you ready? Do you feel ready at all?
No, not ready. I mean, I guess I'm ready at all because I'm going to go through with it. But no, I'm less ready than I thought I would be.
Well, those of you who are not sure what we're talking about, Danny, in support of his sister who has cancer, is going to shave his head bald.
Yeah, and you know what? Real quick, because we're trying to promote that you can give a little if you want to, Susan G. Komen or the American Cancer Society at cancer.org. I'd really like to thank Channel 7 showed up. And if you're trying to promote something, nothing better than the news showing up. So thank you very much, you guys.
Absolutely. If people aren't watching yet, you got to do it right now. Get on Danny TV, facebook.com/KZOK-FM, and check out the live feed that's going on right now in the studio.
Well, right now, Danny has a full, luxurious head of red hair.
Yeah, red hair that has been a part of my being my whole life. You'd say my name, they go, oh, Danny Bonaduce with the bright red hair, that guy. The guy from the Partridge Family with the raspy voice and the red hair. And now I'm just going to be the raspy voice ex-kid. It's horrifying.
No, I think they'll call you the bald one.
No, those are the bald ones. Alec.
That's right.
So Amy, your wife, is here to do the honors. Now, Amy, do you have a technique? Because that's a full head of hair.
I'm just going to see what happens. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're going to start in the front. You're going to start in the back. Oh, I know. Reverse mohawk right down the center.
You know what I think, Sarah? My friend Sarah? I think make the lady with the clippers really nervous. That's a good idea.
I did notice her hand was shaking a little bit.
What's up with that?
We definitely got to zoom in on that on the cameras.
All right, Danny, I think we should get this started.
I think so, too. So whichever direction you want. Oh, it's not going to hurt. I winced up like I was getting a needle.
No.
All right, baby, whatever you want to do.
It might hurt your pride a little bit. It's not going to hurt, like, physically.
She's not clipping that.
She hasn't even started yet. Look at you with your eyes closed. Get it going there, Amy. Here you go. All right. Right down the center.
Oh, you got to go. Oh, is it working? It doesn't
my
feel like it's
gosh.
working.
No, it's working.
Is it working?
Yeah,
You
that
have
was
a
more
reverse mohawk.
even more dramatic than I expected it to be, actually.
Danny, you look great. The
It
fact
feels
that you have
comfortable.
very little hair right now, you look
But
fantastic.
it doesn't feel like it's shaving my head. It feels like it's combing my hair.
Oh, yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
No, it's shaving all of your hair off.
It's shaving my head?
And
All
of
right,
course,
go to the other side, dear.
Of course, Danny's doing this in support of his sister Celia, and a lot of listeners have been texting in, emailing in, saying, way to go, Danny, and they're actually doing the same.
There's a couple guys on Twitter, one specifically, who his sister had cancer as well, and he was thinking about it anyway, but he decided he was going to shave his head with me.
Yeah.
And I wrote back, I said, that's a really personal decision, man. Don't do it because some disc jockey's doing it. Do it because it's the right thing to do, or just give a couple of bucks somewhere.
Yeah, if you can. And again, it's cancer.org or Komen.org for the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Amy's doing a fantastic job, Danny. You may not realize it, but you're almost halfway done.
Yeah,
For
quicker
real?
than I thought it was going to go.
You're bald.
It
You're
almost feels like
completely
some
bald.
kind of prank that my hair's not being shaved at all, that I'm going to be done and go, oh, it's the same. No.
That was earlier when I was doing it. That was a prank.
Are you going to put the hair in a baggie so you can just remember it forever?
You want to know something horrible?
What's that?
We already have a big baggie of my hair. Swear to God, my mother gave it to my wife and said, I've carried this for 40 years. Now you can have it. It was fairly sick.
That's super creepy.
It was super creepy. My mom's super creepy.
Now, was it hair saved over the years?
Yeah, no, I
or
know.
Was it just hair from 40 years
It was
ago?
a specific haircut after I got the job on the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
Because my hair was crazy and they brought it down. And I've had that. I now have it at home.
Danny, I don't think you're going to have to shave the beard. We talked about what do you do with the facial hair. If you shave your head, what are you going to do with the beard? But it actually, so far, is looking really good with the beard.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being gentle, because about 2 seconds ago, my wife started getting fairly forceful, to be honest with you.
The shorter it gets, the harder she has to press down. She might have to take that guard off as well.
Well, that will cut me, won't it?
No, it won't. That's just to make sure that you don't get too close. But if you want to get closer than that, she'll have to take the guard off.
All right. Well, you have experience with this, Paul. You might need to help Amy get a little closer shave.
Yeah, it's not going to cut you, I promise. They regularly shave your head without the guard on, and it's not going to cut you.
I've never seen you look so shocked, Danny. You look aghast right now.
Well, I don't know the way this is. I'm 58 years old.
Yeah.
And I've experienced many, many things. Not this. I'm going to look in the mirror and see a bald guy who hasn't been bald since he was a little bitty baby, and they called me Mr. Clean.
So you never did this when you were growing up? A bunch of guys in the summertime never shaved their heads bald before?
No. Nobody shaved their head and something. Oh.
Danny was on TV. Oh, by the way, that gasp was Danny touching his own head for the first time and realizing all of the hair is gone.
My goodness gracious. Is it even? Is it nice? Do I need
You have no hair. There's nothing to be even.
That's it? I have no
You
hair?
have bald
There's a
head.
little bit of cleanup to do, but it looks good. It looks, and I told you before that I would be honest with you, and you know me. I would tell you if you look terrible. In fact, I delight in it.
I don't. You would delight in it, but you're also almost never honest. For example, what day is it today?
It's Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
See, this guy that I have to deal with. All right. Well, I feel good about it. I'll clean it all up when I get home.
Man.
Remember Susan G. Komen at Komen.org or cancer.org. And God bless you, Celia.
All right, we'll be right back. Danny, I think we got to take you to the bathroom so you can see what you look like.
You look great, man.
We got to take you to the bathroom. I'm a grown-up.
It's summertime. There are a lot of music festivals going on around the world, and one happening in Canada's capital is moments away from not happening at all thanks to a bird. Foo Fighters, Shawn Mendes, Hanson, all were supposed to be performing.
Foo Fighters and Hanson. I would pay $1,000 to be at that show.
Yeah.
It's the 24th annual Blues Fest. It's supposed to happen on July 5th. They've hit a major snag.
Yeah, I want you to know right out of the bat, when I think blues, I think Hanson.
Well, there is a killdeer bird that was spotted guarding a nest with 4 eggs.
How big is this bird that is killing deer?
Reasonable question, man.
Right?
The name of the bird is a killdeer. It was spotted nesting, and it's a protected bird in Canada, so now the federal government is going to have to weigh in on whether or not this concert can happen.
Yeah, you know what you should do? I'm not, they can't hear me in Canada, so I'm not advocating killing birds. As a matter of fact, you should not kill birds. But they brought highway work to a close with that spotted owl thing. I say they have too many rights. Where in the Constitution does it say save that deer or the bird?
They might move it. They could just try to move it away from where it is. They might put the eggs into an incubator, but they've presently given the nest a security guard.
All right. That's because they're Canadians.
By the way, people are chiming in on the text line and on Facebook saying you look fantastic, man. And thanks for doing it, that they've had family members who've gone through treatment and they appreciate your support. So.
Well, I sounds like I'm kidding. Well, I appreciate you appreciating me, but I do. I was a little scared and I went, what's the point? Why did I say that so fast that I would do this? Now it really smells like the right thing to do. And people on my Twitter account and now with you have been really nice. So thank you very much, you guys. Because
Danny
I'm
looks
bald.
great. You can see him at KZOK.com or our Facebook page. Bald Danny.
Bald Danny.
Bald Danny. That's what we're going to call you from now on. Bald Danny.
It's the symbol of America. Bald Danny.
Yes.
A sad news story to report this morning from the music world. Joe Jackson, the patriarch of the Jackson family, died just a few hours ago in Los Angeles. He had been hospitalized last month with terminal cancer. His children were at his bedside, has died, 86 years old.
Scary man, to be honest with you. The two occasions that I went to the Jackson household from high school, I guess starting 10th grade, so I'm 15 or 16 years old, and he was being polite and was terrifying. Hi, kids. Welcome here. Whatever. Okay. We didn't do it wrong.
Some nice news in music news. Bee Gees' Barry Gibb is now a Sir.
Oh, right on.
He was really poignant but just said a lot of really nice things about his brother. Barry Gibb is now the last surviving member of the Bee Gees. And while being Sir'd, he said, I hope and pray that my brothers are aware of what has happened. I would have loved to have shared this special day.
I don't think that's that nice.
My title is going to take some getting used to. I'm finding this a bit surreal.
You don't think it's nice to say, I hope my brothers know what happened?
No, I don't, to be honest with you.
I hope my brothers see all that I've come.
Because he's having a great day. I went from just being some guy with a crazy high voice to I got knighted. Hope you guys are seeing it because you're dead and it didn't happen to you. I think it's a little bit mean.
I think it's meant to be they're up in heaven.
Yeah, I got questions.
What's that?
I didn't think he was British.
Yeah, me either.
He is British. He was born in Isle of Man, which is Scotland.
Yeah.
They moved to Manchester, but he then grew up in Australia. So
I thought they were all Australian.
Born in Scotland.
We may have even played some sort of game to give away something, and I made them Australian, so sorry for that.
Don't check the fine print, you guys. You still got the tickets.
Just because you call into one of our stupid 720 games doesn't mean that I'm actually being truthful or correct in my information.
Well, the Bee Gees, of course, for Night Fever, Staying Alive, Jive Talkin', How Deep Is Your Love? But they also wrote hit songs for Barbara Streisand.
Didn't know that.
Woman in Love and Guilty. They wrote 2 songs for Dionne Warwick. They wrote Islands in the Stream for Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton.
Really?
I had no idea. That's amazing.
They also wrote Grease for Frankie Valli and a song for Diana Ross and Celine Dion.
Grease was Frankie Valli?
Yeah.
The movie came from that?
I believe so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And AMC has announced a new Walking Dead reality mobile game that will feature characters from the hit zombie drama. It'll feature the actual voices like Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, and the actress who plays Michonne, and Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes. They'll be the voices, and you get to have zombies and kill them on your phone.
Dangerous, in my opinion. They're distracted enough.
Yeah.
Checking for dead people. Because remember that Pokemon Go or whatever that was?
Right, yeah.
My son was out of his mind for that for like a day or so. If he'd have been behind the wheel of a car, he'd have killed somebody.
Yeah.
Stick a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Kyle Seager's home run, 3 RBIs, lifted the Mariners past the Orioles 3-2.
Good pitching, too. Big Maple looked good last night. 10 strikeouts.
Great. And let's hope that Wade LeBlanc looks just as good today.
Yeah.
4:05 start time on Root Sports. Baltimore, who, as Paul so kindly has pointed out, has the worst record in baseball.
Yeah, I thought that was a thing to say. That's actually factually true.
Factually true.
Yeah.
I believe they are 38 games out of first place.
Yeah, they're one of the only teams who's not hit 25 wins yet at this point in the season. I think there are 2 teams, Kansas City and Baltimore.
Shocking.
Kansas?
Yeah, I love Kansas, but this is Kansas City.
Different place?
Different, yeah.
Right. By the way, why'd we name 2 different places Kansas?
That is super weird.
Because you can't get enough Kansas. That's why.
In World Cup action, France and Denmark made it to the knockout stage after draws yesterday. Peru defeated Australia 2-0. Both teams sent packing. Argentina and Croatia advanced to the next round after beating Nigeria and Iceland, respectively. Today, Derek, Mexico versus Sweden. What happened?
Let me let you know in just 2 seconds.
You did not know this question was coming there, young man?
Sarah, you are not going to like this at all.
Oh, no.
Sweden wins 3-0 over Mexico.
Okay.
And Germany loses 2-0 to South Korea, meaning Germany's knocked out of the tournament, and you lost 50 trillion Zimbabwean dollars.
So who do you have, Paul?
I have Belgium still in it. And
I have Spain, right?
You have Spain. They've already moved on to the knockout round, so that's fantastic. Belgium's still waiting results, I believe, of tomorrow's games to find out. They're looking pretty good, though, to move on.
All right.
Germany's out.
Starting at 11, Switzerland versus Costa Rica, Serbia versus Brazil. And the Storm lost to the Minnesota Lynx yesterday. They play again tomorrow, the LA Sparks, with a 6:30 start time. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA. That's 1-800-DUIOA. This has been a big show, but tomorrow's will be as well.
I got it. This has been a big show. Danny cut his hair. Has been show.
7:50, a filthy forecast at 7:20. Another chance for you to win tickets to John Fogerty.
Yeah.
But if you missed any of the action, the major drama at 9 o'clock when Danny Bonaduce shaves his head for cancer, where do they see it?
KZOK.com. Watch for video and photos. They should be up shortly. Check out the Facebook live feed, which actually is still running right now, and then YouTube. The entire show will be up on YouTube later today.
And Danny, I don't feel that you can make this point too much, and that is, I'm not for cancer. Dan Bonaduce, for cancer. That's not what happened. But Cancer Society, Susan G. Komen, yes.
How do you feel?
You know what? I haven't seen it. The closest I've come to a mirror is a small cell phone, with it on selfie mode, and it doesn't look. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it could. I'm not thrilled, but it will grow back.
Looks great, man.
And I feel like I did something good. I mean, there's no upside. Nobody gives me a bonus. There's no rate. There's no upside except I did the right thing, and that doesn't happen very often in Deutschland. So I'm thrilled to have done it for my sister.
And thanks again to our friends at Cairo 7 who came in and filmed, and so we'll be eager to see what they have on the news tonight.
And you know who's going to show his support? My friend Steve Slane. You know how he's going to show his support? By not going crazy when he sees the mess we made in the studio. Steve likes things in a particular way if you're out there in radio land, and he's not kidding around about it. He moves stuff back to where the whole studio looks like a living animal with red hair. So we got to clean it up and get out of Steve's way. So thanks for paying attention, and bye.